Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be customizing the Pfister Comet SR in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now the Pfister Comet SR, in my opinion, is the best Comet in the entire game. It's also the fastest Comet around a track in GTA Online, so we're going to go ahead and hop into this and start customizing. So to start off with, the armor, we're going to go all the way up on this. The brakes, we're going to go all the way up on those as well. For the bumpers, we do have a couple different front bumper options. Here we got the competition splitter, we got the secondary and the primary splitter as well. I like the carbon splitter, but I do want to go for a pretty aggressive build with this thing today, so we're going to go for the competition splitter right now. And for the rear bumper, we have the primary or secondary options. I'm going to leave it stock because I like the carbon again, so we'll just keep it like that. Now for the intakes on the sides of the car, we have carbon, or of course we have primary and secondary. We're gonna keep it carbon because, like I said, I want this thing to be more of a race car, so we're gonna have as much carbon as possible. For the engine, we're gonna go all the way up on this, of course. For the exhaust, we have the twin exhausts, the angled dual exhausts, the oval shaped exhausts, and the titanium tipped exhausts. Now I think that the angled dual exhausts look pretty good, so I think we're gonna go for those ones. They're probably my favorite looking, so we'll do that. Now we can have flared arches on the fenders on this car. I don't really love the look, honestly, because the wheels are still like pretty far inside the fender line. So we're just gonna leave the stock fenders on this thing. For the hood, we have the secondary hood, or of course we have the carbon hood. Now we are actually gonna go for a carbon hood on this. Typically, I would never go for a carbon hood on any car, but on this thing, I think it works pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. For the headlights, we are gonna go xenon, of course. For the plate, we're gonna go yellow on black as usual. For the respray, I have kind of an idea of what I wanna go for with this thing. I'm kind of going for a GT2 RS build with this car, and I think a silver or maybe a bluish silver is going to be a pretty good color to choose. I do like the look of it a lot, so I think we're going to go for bluish silver to start. For the secondary, we're also going to go bluish silver again for that. Now for the roof, we have the primary roof as well as the secondary roof. However, I do like the carbon roof on this thing, so we're just going to leave that alone. For the skirts, we have the primary skirts, the secondary skirts, or of course the competition skirts. You already know we're going for the competition skirts. For the spoiler, we have the carbon stock spoiler, we have the primary spoiler, secondary spoiler, or the carbon spoiler as well. We have the race spoiler, the secondary race, and of course the carbon race as well. We're gonna go for the carbon race spoiler, I think, unless we want to go for the carbon stock spoiler. It does look pretty good. However, I feel like the carbon race spoiler is a little bit bigger and it looks a little more like a GT2, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. For the suspension, we are gonna lower this thing down all the way. The transmission, we're gonna go all the way up on that. The turbo as well for sure. Now for the wheels, I don't know what I want to go for on this car. We do have the track wheels that we can go for. We could go for like the Super Lux, something like that. We also have the high fives, those look pretty good as well. The expressways also work pretty well on this car, I think. What else do we have here? Nothing else that I really am tempted to put on the car. I mean, I would love to put the forged star rims on this thing. These look amazing, but unfortunately we don't have them. So we could go for the concave mega mesh like I always go for. We could also go for maybe the true fade concave. Those look pretty good on this thing, I feel like. Hyperfresh, they're not bad. The Endo V4 dished, those actually work really well on this, I think. So that's another option. We got the Sugoi concave, the Mercy concave as well. You know what I'm kind of wondering about is maybe going for some high-end rims, but going for something that we don't typically go for, maybe. I'm almost tempted to go for the Cheetah RRs, but not the carbon version of them. I think that these do look pretty good on this. I feel like they fit well with the car, so I think we're actually going to go for the Cheetah RRs. Now, do we want to paint them black or do we want to go for something a little more exciting? I was thinking about a red. I wish there was some red accenting that we could do on this car. Now that I think about it, there actually probably is, but it's a bit too late for it now. I'm thinking we go black for the rims. There is one thing that I'm thinking of doing maybe with this car. I want to tint the windows out, so let's go ahead and do that. But what I am thinking about is on the chassis, we could do the secondary colored intakes. And then we could change the secondary color to maybe some sort of a red, like the crew color even, just to get a splash of color on the car as well. I'm not sure that it looks that great, but I kind of do like the look of it, you know what I mean? Could go for like a Torino red on that. It does look kind of cool in my opinion. I'm almost tempted to go for it. I think that, you know what, I think that I am actually going to go for it. just to get a little bit of color on the car. I feel like it kind of needs it. It's kind of boring if it's just black and silver pretty much. So let's do that. I'm pretty satisfied. There's a little bit of color on the car now. Let's take it down to the ground. We're going to do a sound test and a full review on the vehicle. All right, here we are at the ground. Let's see what this thing sounds like. The Pfister Comet SR, I mean, it's a pretty good sounding car. I won't lie. It sounds pretty mean. I am a fan of what I chose to do with those side vents there. Get a little bit of red on the car. I feel like it does look pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now it's time to talk about the Pfister Comet SR's performance. What I can tell you is that this thing is a former or maybe even current top 10 fastest sports car around a circuit in Grand Theft Auto Online. This thing has absolutely phenomenal performance for what the vehicle is, and of course it is on sale this week, so if you guys want to pick one of these things up, it is on sale for 40% off of its usual price, so around $700,000 you can get this thing right now. So that's a pretty fair price considering just how good this car is. This thing used to place at about number 6 out of all of the sports cars around a circuit in Grand Theft Auto Online. So it's a pretty quick car, and obviously we've had some more sports cars added into the game recently, so the Pfister Comet SR, it's fallen a little bit. It might be just within the top 10 or it might be just out of the top 10. Regardless, what I can tell you is it is a very competitive car in GTA Online for sure. And it's definitely one that you could potentially win some races with if you're a really good racer and everybody that you're playing against isn't as good as you are. So it's possible to win some races with this thing. Now, to talk about the individual performance of the car, we'll start with the handling. The handling is really, really good. This car, it just grips up extremely nicely. It's like a 911 in real life. Those cars handle absolutely phenomenally, and the Pfister Comet SR is no different. This thing is absolutely awesome around the corners. It's a really fun car to drive because you feel like you're about to lose grip, but then you just kind of don't. The back end of the car can kind of fishtail a little bit, but it's usually very, very manageable, and if it does kind of spin out on you, you can get it back under your control really, really quick. So, the Pfister Comet SR, it is a fantastic car in that regard. I'd say the handling of the Pfister Comet SR is probably its best feature. I mean, it's an awesome car in a lot of ways. It's got pretty good customization as well, but the handling, I think, is really the standout feature. Now, the acceleration is also quite good as well. Maybe even an overlooked feature of the Pfister Comet SR. The acceleration is quite quick on this thing. I won't lie, it's a very fun car to drive. Between the handling and the great acceleration, I think that this is truly one of the best sports cars in the entire game, and I know for a fact that it is, performance-wise, but I just think it's such a fun car to drive, and for that reason, I'd recommend it alone. Also, obviously, if you guys want to race, the Pfister Comet SR can pretty much hold its own in the sports category, so, it's a really, really solid car. Now, the top speed is a little bit lacking with the Pfister Comet SR, but it could be a lot worse. It's decent, but it's just not quite the best. Overall, guys, I would 100% recommend picking up the Pfister Comet SR this week while it's on sale in online. I think you'd be kind of making a mistake if you don't pick it up, especially if you're into racing, if you're into Porsches. I mean, those are two very good reasons to buy this car while it's on sale this week. I absolutely recommend this thing. It's a fantastic car. It has never disappointed me, and I doubt that it will disappoint you. And for $700,000, you really cannot go wrong. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for the Pfister Comet SR customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.